recreation. There will be games, treats, workshops, and activities for people of all ages. Meet local organizations and advocates and hear from hosts Allison Mariella Desir and some of the guests featured in her show Out and Back with Allison Mariella Desir. The event starts at 1 p.m. on January 27th at Washington Hall. Visit crosscut.com/events to RSVP for free.
Hello, I'm Tony Young, and every week I will be your guide to the music of the Fab Four with my show With the Beatles. John Lennon, Paul McCartney, George Harrison, and Ringo Starr, those four lads from Liverpool. First airings are Tuesday night from 7 to 9 p.m. with repeats on Thursdays and Saturdays from 8 to 10 a.m. right here on Rainier Avenue Radio. Tune in to catch Beatlemania.
Hey Seattle, here are some storage tips to love food, stop waste. Onions make potatoes sprout faster. Keep onions away from potatoes. Ripe bananas give off a gas that makes the fruit around them ripen faster. Store bananas away from other fruits. 40% of food in the U.S. goes uneaten. Save money, save food, save the planet. Visit Seattle Public Utilities for more tips.
What's going on, world? It's your boy OG Mambo.
And your guy D Money. Join us along with Pint Size Patron and ID Yourself
Here on Fresh Juice at Rainier Avenue Radio.
every Wednesday hump day from 9 to 11 Pacific.
Get exclusive interviews from your favorite artists, all the hottest music, and updates on what we got going on in the world.
That's every Wednesday, 9 to 11 p.m. on Seattle's Rainier Avenue Radio. Do you have an idea for a community project in your neighborhood? You could be eligible for up to $50,000 in funding through the City of Seattle's Neighborhood Matching Fund. Grants are awarded to grassroots projects that build stronger communities, with an emphasis on projects led by impacting Black, Indigenous, and people of color BIPOC communities. To learn more about the Neighborhood Matching Fund or to see if your project meets the criteria, visit seattle.gov/neighborhoods/NMF.
You are listening to Rainier Avenue Radio,
your community radio station.
Hello. Hello, hello, hello. You are watching Better Together and Living Powerfully right here on Rainier Avenue Radio. So it's the Better Together Empowerment Series and the Living Powerfully experience. So we call it Better Together because we've said this many times. It's so much better when we do this work, which is really anything that you want to achieve in 2024. It's so much better when you do it together, when you do it with others. So stay with me. Today, we're going to focus on three things. We've talked about living powerfully. We've talked about the living powerfully experience. We've brought in specific scientific methodologies that will guarantee your success with you showing up differently, right? We've done several things, but today what I really wanted to do was to break down. I've gotten probably 12 questions from individuals, and that's, for me, that's a lot, right? Because they say only 1 out of 100 people actually reach out. So when someone takes the time to actually text you or IM you in social media, which I don't really use a whole lot of social media, but I've had people say, tell me more. How do you really do it? Like, I've been talking about this for decades, whether it's losing weight or starting a business. We're asking each of you to think of something that you've always wanted to do. The beauty of this is you can do it. We can help you to achieve any goal in your life. And it's simpler than you might think, right? So we're going to do a couple of things today. So the one thing that people ask is, like, how do you really do it? Like, how do we, like, this year went by so fast, you know, and time is not promised. None of us are promised tomorrow, as my grandmother would say. none of us are promised tomorrow. And I honestly, we've had more people than I'd like to recount in this moment who have had parents pass away, siblings pass away. I just heard of someone who I know and love whose wife passed away. And by passed away, I mean they're no longer here. This game of life that we keep talking about, that we keep playing with, you can't show up and act like this is playtime. None of us are promised tomorrow. So all I know is when I show up, people who know me know that I'm showing up, I'm all in. I'm not leaving anything on the table, which is part of the reason I do this show, because there's so much information. My next book is actually coming out in a few months, and I'm so excited. And it is going to include a lot of the stuff we talk about here and more. But what I love about that is we're leaving it on the table. You can't take any of it with you. So let's talk decisions. So when people have asked me, the questions that they've asked have been, how do I really do it? I love everything you're saying. Can you tell me more? Can you take us on your journey? I'm like, I'm all in. So here's how I'm going to break it down for you. You know, they say that if you want to lose 100 pounds, you're not worried about 100 pounds. People often say, take it one bite at a time, right? One step at a time, right? You want to start a business? You're not going to just go from I have no business to I have an idea. You have to plan the work and work the plan, right? That's true for any goal that you want to accomplish. So I've had wonderful, wonderful guests on that talked a little bit about vision. Now, today I might have a special guest. My producer's like on the ready. I invited someone kind of last minute to join us. And I'll talk about that toward the end. Whenever he comes on, just let me know. Daniel is our producer. Just let me know and I'll steer the conversation and we'll go to him. But what I really wanted to do was to answer the questions for the people that have reached out to me since our last show. Like literally 12 people since the last show is kind of a lot, right? Again, most people who have a question are not going to take the time to find me because I don't think I make it easy. They actually said that. Don't make it easy. I'm not hiding. I'm Dr. Traci Harrell, right? And we had a conversation about the doctor. I am not a medical doctor. Let me be clear. I'm not even a traditional academic doctor that went through the process of getting a PhD. Fortunately, I am Dr. Traci Harrell, who gained this credential based on the work that I've done in community. Last year was pretty spectacular. It was pretty spectacular, I have to admit, right? When you contribute, it's a doctorate in humanitarianism, in service, in giving, in the collective contributions that I've had over 25 years, the hours and hours. I could have gotten 5 doctorate degrees if I had planned on it. This was not part of the plan. Oh, it looks like we do have a guest. I'm so excited. So let me finish this. We got a real doctor on the show. Yay. Is he ready? Bring him in whenever he's ready. I can pivot. So we have a real doctor. I think he's going to be joining us, a dentist. Oh, he's ready. Yay. Okay, y'all, get ready. I don't know where this conversation is going to go, but we're going to take him on a journey. And I think he's like ready to go. So let's go. Bring him on whenever he's ready.
Hello, Dr. Traci. How are you?
How are you?
Great. Long time no see.
I know. How brave of you. Y'all, I met this doctor today. Let me just be clear. I consider myself a little ghetto and a little bougie. I'm bougie in the sense that I only want the best. Like I really only want the top doctors. This guy is one of the top dentists in Bellevue. And I've been from Seattle to Kirkland to Bellevue. And when I found his ad, I was like, oh my, sounds amazing. So I went into his shop today, his office today, and it had all the technology. And I was like, I'm in. I'm done. Right? He's willing to work with me on the price. So first of all, tell us a little bit about who you are. And before we get into dentistry, we're going to talk about health. And we're going to talk about this show. The title of this show is The Living Powerfully Experience. So Dr. Karuna, when you hear the term living powerfully, what does that actually mean to you? Tell us a little bit about who you are and what does living powerfully, what does that mean to you?
Living powerfully means living in control, living with freedom. And that's the most important thing. A lot of people don't live according to their own will. It's basically a 9-to-5 job, or they're under control with someone else, a bad relationship. So when you live powerfully, you're living under your own free will. And that's what it is to me.
I love it. Now, the other first part of this show, it's called the Better Together Empowerment Series, right? So, the research would say that we are, as human beings, we're 500% more likely to complete any task when you do it in community, which is really why all universities went to this cohort type mentality, this cohort process when you're moving through a series of things, right? And so we have one thing that we offer. It's called the Living Powerfully Experience. It's a 6-week program. It's through something called Positive Intelligence. We'll talk about that later. But the idea of better together is just the idea that, when you're trying to accomplish a goal, for example, I want to be healthier this year. I don't have that as an expertise. I reach out to people like you saying, hey, I would love to learn more about you. I'd love to learn more about you as an individual, professionally, but also personally. So when you hear this term better together, right, it makes sense scientifically, right, that we would be more successful together. What does that mean to you when you hear the terms better together, and why is it better that we try to accomplish goals together?
Just like how you said, 500% increase in productivity and actual completion of a goal if you're doing it as a community. Mm-hmm. And, if you want to better yourselves in health, wealth, whatever sector that you want to focus on in your life, if you share, your goals and your ambitions with other people with like-minded attitudes, there's a chance that you're going to succeed. Mm-hmm. And that's the goal. The goal is to succeed. A lot of people, they use social media because they want to post their, oh, I did a marathon today, or I ran 5 miles, or I did 4 pull-ups. Why are they sharing it on, Instagram or Facebook? Because they want that encouragement from everyone. It could be someone random or someone they don't even know, but that really motivates them.
I love it.
So just like, how we were talking earlier today, having a team is very important. If your health is very important, you can't just have, if you want overall better health, you just can't have just a cardiologist.
Right.
You need a dentist, you need someone who, manages, heart health, gastrointestinal issues. You need a physician who
a team.
Oversees your overall health. So you need a team, basically.
I love it.
So, and they all need to be in synchrony and communication with each other too, So it's just one of those things that nowadays, especially after COVID, people are focusing on their health. People are focusing on things that matter, and health does matter. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. So people have realized that, they need to step forward, including myself. Last couple of years, I've had to, focus, look in the mirror and say, you know what, I got to focus on my health, and everyone has a different health issue.
Right.
Just because someone looks good on the outside doesn't mean they're okay on the inside, vice versa. So I had to deal with high blood pressure, so I needed to create a team of people who I can trust. But the biggest team member is going to be, myself and my spouse, who encourages me in order to fulfill those goals.
You just said so much. So you said, we focus on what's important. And what's important, one thing that's super important is like our health is our wealth, right? You can't, no matter what you want to accomplish in life, if you don't have some degree of healthiness, some degree of focus on this vessel that we move through the earth with, right? You're not going to have what I think a lot of us want, which is ease and flow. When you talked about living powerfully, what did you say? Right? It's about being able to make decisions, do what you want. I want to go, right? I choose to go on vacation. You guys know, I swear to you, I've been so focused on others, so focused on nonprofit work and supporting institutions. That's great work. That's why I'm so proud of this doctorate, right? This work that I got the Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award through President Biden, literally, for the contributions in community. It's a blessing. I'm honored. And
that's a great achievement.
It's beautiful. And if God was saying done, congratulations, you've done a lot of work for others. Focus on yourself, darling. As if my stroke wasn't a wake-up call enough last year in 2022, Christmas Day of 2022, that wasn't enough. That wasn't enough, right? I am very focused. I realize the importance of that. So health is wealth. And so we're going to talk a little bit about decisions that you have to make. Because you just, you talked about that marathon, for example, and you talked about your health. But it's step by step.
There's a quote that I used to, tell myself all the time when I was in undergrad. God helps those who help themselves.
See,
yes. You're not, you need to make the effort to move forward. You cannot just say, oh, you know what, something amazing is going to happen randomly to me. The effort is your faith, right? In anything you do. Yeah,
I definitely think it takes
if you make a decision to improve your health in any way, shape, or form, let's say you want a better smile. I'm a dentist, that's what I think about all day long. You have to have a certain thought process in order to say, you know what, enough is enough. I'm tired of my bleeding gums. I need to do something about it. I'm tired of this one missing tooth. I'm tired of this pain that I'm having constantly. It just becomes something that you're obsessed about. And when you become obsessed, you take action. And when you take action, all of a sudden, all these results that you've been waiting for to happen for many, many years. And I see patients who've avoided the dentist, avoided me,
yes,
for so long. And now all of a sudden it was so easy. All I had to do was make the effort. Yes. I had to help myself.
Yes. You said so much. We have to pause and we're going to go back. What you said, 3 things you said was, first of all, I love you. We're newly connected, and you are welcome to join anytime, right? So first of all, you just said you have to make a decision. You have to get obsessed with that thing, because oftentimes, like you said, we go through life almost asleep. How many times have you driven somewhere and you're like, I don't know, right? I don't remember even driving there. You get to work, you go through their day, right? But when you're obsessed with some goal, that means you're going to be intentional about it. So when I say decisions determine your destiny, that's what we really want to focus on today. Well, not just one big decision, because I've decided I want to lose weight regularly. I've decided, I've said it. Mm-hmm. But I was not obsessed, to use your word. I was not obsessed with it. Mm-hmm. I was not obsessed with my wellness. And I think part of it, you have to believe that it is for you. That whatever that goal is, that you're worthy to achieve it. So I heard you say, you got to be obsessed. You have to be consistent. And that decision is not one decision. This is the incremental decisions that you make along the way to achieve a goal. Would you agree with that?
Yep, I agree. And there's one more thing. You have to see the end goal.
Yes.
Which a lot of people overlook.
Talk about that.
Come to me as a dentist and you have a missing tooth, you already see the end goal.
Yes.
Right? You're not leaving with another missing tooth, or you're not leaving with another hole.
Right.
Just like that, in anything in life, you have to understand, what is your end goal? What does that vision be like? Be it losing weight, having, a better smile, whatever it is. I mean, even when you get a haircut, if your hair is all over the place and you somewhat can figure out an end goal, right?
Yes.
I need to cut right now. So it's one of those things where I think a lot of people don't. They're I'm not saying clueless, but they're confused. Mm-hmm. I don't think most people are clueless. I think most people are confused, or they're distracted. And if they're distracted, they're thinking about 5 or 6 different things at once. Mm-hmm. They don't know what they want.
Yes. I'm writing down words that you just said: confused and distracted. We're gonna come back to these, because this is so good. This is when you meet someone that's aligned. It's like we could just riff all day. Like, I love this. So we're gonna provide you with the nuggets, people, like an actual playbook on how to achieve any goal that you want. When we say decisions determine your destiny, it is the decisions that you make along the way. So he just mentioned confusion. If you kind of want to lose weight, but you're like, I don't, because I've said it, but I really it wasn't a priority. I definitely was not obsessed by it, right? And so I've done, and one time I actually got so obsessed, or so focused that I started losing weight, and it happened so fast. I was like, oh my God, what just happened? Like I'm an author. This is the next book. How did I miss the steps along the way? So what I'm doing now is I have 100 pounds to lose. So this is the perfect before picture. Yay. Right? The perfect before picture, which means like I'm taking people on the journey right now. If you're ready to accomplish a goal, I'm so confident in the end goal. Mm-hmm. I know what can I show you something? Can I show you something? I'm gonna see if I can make you laugh. This is 5-year-old Traci, right? And there was a little something where that little girl got bullied growing up. So she didn't always feel like she was worthy, right, of all the best things. I don't know. It's kind of weird. But this is my end goal. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Can you see that? That was a size 7'8". I think I was 137 pounds. Now, I'm not trying to quite get back there, but I do plan to break the 200 mark, right? And so getting about 175 feels about right to me. But that, and honestly, the truth is I see myself like that girl. Like I don't see myself with the rolls. That is still the image of who I think I am, walking around thinking I'm right. So I got a very clear end goal. My vision is clear. The process that I need to do to get there is also clear. This work I've been doing around positive intelligence is important, right? But the one thing I've never had to do, Dr. Karana, and you're going to love this, I've never really had to have habits. I've never had to build in something that I did on a regular basis. I used to get straight A's in school and never studied. I showed up in class, but I didn't have to like do the extra work to study. So now this is something where I'm like, I have to actually build some habits, some routines. Your decisions determine your destiny. So the decision that I made for breakfast this morning, right? The decision that I made to buy these various supplements, right, to amplify my health. These are decisions, but I still got to take them. I still got to choose well each day. It's like an alcoholic, right? You have to choose not to drink if you're an alcoholic. I have to choose to consume the right foods for this divine temple. Like I've decided that my body is the divine temple. That makes the decisions a lot easier, right? If you decide something, then you can kind of go along with the flow a lot easier. So let's talk about kind of decisions and also beliefs. Right? Beliefs. Like you got to believe that you're worthy, believe that your body really is a divine temple, then the decisions are easier. That means chocolate, bread, and sugar, which have no nutritional value, really should not be a part of my daily consumption.
Right. Well, you could have a little bit. Moderation is very
moderation. I can have a little. I'm allowed, but right. But I'm not going to like eat that every day for every meal.
Yeah. I mean, I get patients all the time. I can't eat sugar because I'll get cavities. Well, you could eat sugar, I mean, but you cannot be consuming sugar for a prolonged period of time. If you decide to have a, soda, you can, but you have to brush your teeth and not sip it throughout the day. Those are things, everything in moderation. Right. And I think what happens is that we live in a restrictive society, but we also live in an excessive society, and there's no middle ground. And when people restrict themselves mentally, they feel they are being punished. And when they feel they're being punished, it only takes a few days for them to say, you know what, screw this. I'm going to go back to where I was.
Right.
And then you make a little progress, but then it's like one step forward, 3 steps back.
3 steps
one
back.
step forward, 3 steps back. That's why, in a lot of these dietitians, they're okay with a cheat day. They go, if for 6 days you followed a regimen and you've worked out, it's okay not to work out one day and eat whatever you want. The body actually wants it. Body actually craves it. And to be honest, if you're doing healthy habits for 6 out of 7 days, you actually, if you overeat, you actually don't feel good the next day. You're like,
right.
And slowly over time, you realize that, I could have a cheat day, but I'm not going to eat a whole pizza. I'm going to eat half a pizza and I'll still be content, or I'm going to choose better, ingredients or make stuff at home.
Right.
That still is, junk food, but it's much healthier than going out.
I love that so much. So let's talk a little bit about beliefs. So I've decided, right, that my health is my most important priority for 2024. Right? My health is my wealth, right? I'm going to get healthier, wealthier, and wiser, right? Doing this work. I've also decided, decisions determine my destiny. I've also decided that my body is a divine temple, living temple. If it's a temple, then I'm going to be very careful about what I put in it, right? And I'm going to enjoy what I put in it as well. So talk a little bit about what I believe. So I literally believe that my body is a divine temple. It changes how I see. Like I allowed myself around Christmas time to have a pizza. I ordered it twice and it really wasn't good. I actually got to take it back because I was like, hey, because I ordered two. And I was like, hey, like I don't, it wasn't enough cheese, it wasn't whatever. And it really had no nutritional value, even though it had veggies on it. So what was interesting is because I had decided that my body is a divine temple, and I realized flour had no nutritional value. Cheese really has no nutritional value. So my brain was just kind of like, I was done with it. Can you imagine? It felt so beautiful. That it's kind of like, that's the journey. I'm not done. I could have pizza if I want to. But what I'm saying is because I marinated on some new beliefs, it actually changed, to your point, it changed what I wanted. It changed how I wanted to show up in the world.
Right. No, I agree with you 100%. These small mental changes, sometimes all it is a flip of a switch in your mind where you go, you know what? I used to be so addicted to pizza. I love pizza. You know what? It's one of my favorite foods. Pasta, anything Italian, it's one of my favorite foods. But at the end of the day, you know what? It's sometimes you just have to flip a switch and think about the grease. Don't think about how good it tastes. Think about, that one bad experience you had with pizza.
Yes. And amplify that, right?
and you can amplify it in your mind, just like how you said, and that can actually be a reason for you not to make that, mistake, so to speak.
And I love that more than anything. So if we can talk about health, we're going to talk about wealth. You talked about this idea of, the words were confusion, and I wrote it down and then I moved my paper somewhere. I have no idea where I put it. What did you say? You said confusion. Oh, I put it in my album over here. I put it in the album of Future Traci. Talk a little bit about this concept of you. Do you have any goals for 2024? Anything that you want to do differently?
I just like you, I need to lose a little bit. I want to work out. I want to put more effort in strength training, spend more time with family. I've been working a little bit, a little more extra than I want to. But it's just prioritizing your goals. Every day, I think in the morning, I think the two main points of the day that are very critical for one's mental, emotional, and physical health are when the minute you wake up and 5 minutes before you go to sleep. Because when you wake up, a lot of people, the first thing they do is they grab their phone, they check their emails, they check their social media, and and 9 times out of 10, you're not getting good news. It's either bills that need to be paid, or customers who have an issue, or just random junk mail, which now you're wasting time reading about random stuff that you don't even need to be thinking about the first 10-15 minutes of your day. If you were to just wake up and in a more of a meditative state, just be grateful of being awake and emphasizing on your top 3 goals of the day. And it doesn't have to be a lot. It could just be, I want to just make sure I pay this bill and walk 15 minutes and make your bed, or something like that. I think making your bed is a really interesting goal. There's been research on it that people who actually make their bed are more incentivized. They actually want to cross stuff off their list. That's another thing I do is I make lists. I take an index card. I'm not one of those iPhone. Even though I have an iPhone, I don't make lists digitally. I love to just cross stuff off, And sometimes I I already done the task, but I write it down, then cross it off. Emotionally, it just feels good. It feels good
Right.
to put something off your plate. That's what it literally means, wiping something off your plate.
Yes.
And it's nice just to be done with it. And at the end of the day, you take that list, and usually I like the 4x6 index cards. Half the index cards are my tasks. The other half, I write down anything positive that happens in the day. You know, I met Dr. Traci Harrell. I got invited to a talk show today. I didn't know if I was going to do, you know, but those small things are what counts, you know. And then and what I used to do is I used to, especially in dental school, a lot of rough days in dental school. You know, you just feel like you don't know anything. You know, professors always talk down to you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, patients are upset. You have to fake it to make it. You know, you're the doctor, but you know, you really don't know what you're doing. So I used to have index cards. This is where the idea came from. I used to have index cards, and it wasn't like my checkoff list. It was at the end of the day, I would just write down all the good things that happened. I also wrote down bad things too. And I would keep those like all those index cards. It was like 100 index cards, and I would keep those for viewing like 100 days later.
Nice.
Because
I
when
love
you
it.
transform, you forget those small little things that actually were like, wow, that moment happened, and that was so critical, you know, for my success.
Okay, Dr. Karada, this is so good. I'm taking notes because we got to take a quick commercial break, station break, and then we're going to come back and we're going to talk a little bit more. Y'all, he just dropped so many nuggets. We're going to come back and we're laying out a very clear plan. Your success, it's for the taking, right? Right now, your decisions determine your destiny. Stay with us. We'll be right back on Rainier Avenue Radio.
Rainier Avenue Radio.
Celebrate Black History Month at the Call to Conscience Black History Month Museum, formerly Columbia City, 3916 Rainier Avenue South. Call to Conscience Black History Month Museum features exhibits and installations. It's a guided tour.
Installations include the Seattle Black Panther Party, the Black Heritage Society of Washington, the Rainier Cinema Black Movie Posters Collection, the Hartsfield Family Enslaved Quilt Collection, Revere XR, Negro League Baseball's Seattle Steelheads, NAACP Washington, Alaska, and Oregon, Zell's Famous Chicken, Nasty Mix Records, Sir Mix-a-Lot, South Seattle Emerald, the Museum of History and Industry, Community Keepsakes and Memorabilia, the Total Experience Gospel Choir and Pat Wright, the Black Prisoners Caucus, a display from the Tacoma Buffalo Soldiers Museum.
Tuesdays through Sundays from 11 a.m. 7 p.m. There will be no other location where you can celebrate the achievements and the achievers of the Pacific Northwest and Seattle while recognizing the Black excellence that shines today. For more information, visit RainierAvenueRadio.org or call 206-290-9685.
On RainierAvenueRadio.world, look for the Change Your Food, Change Your Life show. I'm Dennis Weaver, your good food guide and host, helping you to feel good and look good. And who wouldn't want some of that? All that and more from the Change Your Food, Change Your Life show on RainierAvenueRadio.world. Stories, songs, and guests. Begin living the organic good food life, and the rest of your life just may be the best of your life. What was up, baby? To your help.
Dealing with COVID-19 is uncharted territory, and everyone has different challenges. People may feel anxious, down, or overwhelmed. For some, these feelings can lead to changes in sleep patterns, an increased use of alcohol or drugs, or withdrawing from the people around them. If you know someone who's having a hard time coping, you can help by reaching out to talk and listen. To learn more about how you can help someone in need, call the Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 800-273-TALK. Brought to you by the state of Washington.
Here with the Rainier Avenue Radio traffic update. You can listen to us in your car 24/7 anytime by downloading the free TuneIn app. Once you do, search Rainier Avenue Radio. And remember, do not curse out your fellow drivers. This has been your Rainier Avenue Radio traffic update.
Y'all, welcome back to Better Together and Living Powerfully, right? This is the Better Together Empowerment Series. So today you are getting empowered on what you need to do to live the life of your dreams. Our topic today is decisions determine your destiny. And we have an amazing guest, Dr. Corona. How you doing, Dr. Corona? From Dentistry of Bellevue, y'all. I just met him today and I got so excited. I'm having a root canal on Wednesday. I'm excited about it.
It'll be great.
It's going to be great. I do believe that. I believe it's going to be great. So it's going to be great. Like there's really no option. Like I get this award winning. Like what kind of awards have you won? You have all these like titles and awards. I know you don't like to brag, but give us a little something.
When I was younger, a couple years ago, I got 40 under 40, best dentist in America.
Best dentist in America?
Yeah, my wife also got one too, you know. So we both were 40 under 40, best dentists in America. And just recently, Seattle Met peers actually voted for me. Other dentists actually voted for me as one of the best dentists they know for implant dentistry. So maybe it's my wife. I think my wife voted for me.
Dr. Khan is her name. She's gorgeous, by the way. You like this power couple. I was like, okay, I got the best of the best. I do like the best of the best. I do associate with the best of the best. So what's exciting about you is that not only are you humble.
I just love what I do. I love helping people. I love talking about dentistry and getting people out of pain and changing their smile. You know, I think it's a great profession for myself, you know, and I get to meet a lot of interesting people. I work with fantastic high-end technology, and you know, the office you visited, you know, is just recently built. I actually built that during COVID, you know, and when everyone was just scared and worrying, I just said, you know what, after COVID, people are not gonna want to go to places that, you know, going to have a lot of aerosols, and infection control is going to be really important. And so we built this office, and you probably remember the rooms are bigger than a lot of dental offices. I wanted spacious rooms where people don't feel claustrophobic. They want to spend time. Our chairs are immaculate. They have massage features, and we have views in every room. All these things took a lot of time and thought process, because, you know, at the end of the day, no one really wants to go see a dentist. You know, it's people are busy. People have other stuff to do. But if they do have to go, their experience has to just be exceptional, you know, and that's just how I live my life too. You know, it's like, I want nice things. I want people to have nice things. And I expect my patients to be treated well. There's dentists out there, you know, they have older practices and they don't invest in their practices, but they live in mansions and they have nice cars. But that's not how I foresee stuff. You know, the way I would like to be treated, that's exactly how I set up my dental office. You know, we have digital scanners, digital x-rays, you know, high-end everything. You know, there's it's investing in my patients. Yes. Because I know when they see it, and if they go somewhere else, they're going to be like, man, I want to go see Dr. Corona.
I did, just so we're clear, I went to 5 dentists. Five. First of all, like some amazing people, right? And the thing I loved about you is you have a special going on right now for root canals.
Specials. I am a special, you know.
So I was like, wait a minute, I don't have my Microsoft exceptional insurance that I used to have before. I'm an entrepreneur, so I got to figure out the best deal. And so you have literally the best deal right now at the top rated massage chair views. It's immaculate. I went to a place on Friday and they were lovely people. Oh my God, they were so lovely. But I could see like a little, you know, wear and tear here and there. And I'm like, I'm going to this top rated dentist. I didn't know you were like one of the top voted one of the top in the country, but I believe it. I saw like 3 or 4. I started looking you up, and I saw award after award and recognition after recognition, like nationally. And I'm like, that's where I want to go. I want to go to him. And then the price was like over the top. I was like, okay, now there's no question. And then I met you, and I was like, I just got to meet him today and figure out how I'm going to make this all work. And you were just, the energy was so positive. I was like, okay, I want to talk about you on the show because, first of all, people. Okay, my niece called me. This tell me how true this is. But she called me maybe a couple of weeks ago, and she told me about some athlete that had a
abscess,
some problem, and he ended up like dying or having some stroke or some like that kind of stuff can really harm you, right? Like letting tooth issues go for too long.
No, he was an NFL player. I'm sorry, I don't know the name, but I did read up on him, and this is a very common situation. You know, he had broken down teeth, which were all abscessed. And what does
that mean? Hold on. What does abscess mean?
What an abscess means, there's an infection. So let's say a tooth has broken, it becomes kind of like a foreign object to the body.
Oh.
So when there's a foreign object, let's say you got shrapnel or glass or something random, or even like, a thorn from a flower.
Well, let's be clear. I broke my tooth. And my tooth is abscessed. Like my tooth is infected.
Yes. So what that means, the body thinks it's a foreign object, and then it keeps attacking itself, and it tries to get rid of it. But during that whole process, it causes inflammatory reaction, So there's a big area of infection there, It's a combination. It's bacteria, but it's also your immune response as well. What happened to this athlete was, I think during football practice, he got hit. And then that infection that he had in those teeth spread to his brain. And it caused an emergency situation for him, which ultimately caused him to pass away. So, and we have hundreds of thousands, millions of people walking around, with broken teeth, and they're not taking care of it. The reason why, it doesn't hurt. They keep saying it doesn't hurt. They know it's broken. They think, okay, I can, maybe get antibiotics and eat it. And antibiotics do work, but they're very temporary, but after 3-4 months, you're back to the same thing again, Not only that, if you keep taking antibiotics, your body becomes resistant, and they're not going to work as effectively anymore. So that's why it's a very, very important, if you do have a broken tooth, if you do have something that, you're concerned about, even though it's not hurting, to get it removed or checked out, because, it can cause major complications down the road.
And it's a difference when, based on your wealth, your health can be impacted. I could not afford to get this root canal. It's like thousands of dollars. And I'm like, I'm coming. I got some checks coming in, but like it's, and then I realized, okay, 2024, I have to make the priority. Especially when I know my brain is my best asset. I cannot have this infection going into my brain. I gotta, right? And you're right, it doesn't hurt that much anymore, but I haven't chewed on my right side because it's uncomfortable. The gums are inflamed. It's a problem.
Yeah.
So,
And over time, what'll happen is that you're going to get used to chewing on the other side, and then what's going to happen is that other side is going to wear down a lot faster than normal. And then that side is going to have problems. It's a chain reaction, just like, dominant hands, people are right-handed, left-handed, I'm right-handed. People chew, in a dominant fashion. So a lot of people chew on the right side, a lot of people chew on the left side. But when you're chewing, you're masticating. That's what it's called. You're chewing. It's like basically dribbling back and forth, right and left, right and left, right and left, until the food is actually broken down into a bolus, and you swallow it, and then it gets digested. But if you're not effectively chewing, what's that doing? It's causing your metabolism to slow down. and you're eating more because your body has to eat more because it's not breaking down the food effectively. You know, it's just one of those things where a lot of people aren't chewing their food, and I'm one of them too. You know, sometimes I just like to scarf food down, and it's just one of those things where people need to learn. Listen, teeth are very important. The front teeth, the incisors take in the food.
Yeah.
They take it back to the premolars and molars where they actually get broken down. The juices of the food and the nutrients are kind of crushed.
Right.
All the enzymes in your mouth. There's 500 enzymes in your mouth.
Mm.
You know, like for starches, you have amylase.
And isn't this infection, just real quick, isn't the infection actually going into my whole
your
system?
Eating, and if you do have an abscess and there's pus there, you're swallowing that. You know,
definitely it's problematic.
And not only that, you know, it's just there's other things too. You know, there's halitosis, which is bad breath.
Unfortunately, I don't have that, but
of course, but if you don't have a broken tooth, but if it becomes that level where it's a rotted root tip, we call it, that can cause halitosis. It can get food. Sometimes it's not the bacteria in the tooth, it's food being trapped around those broken teeth, and then you can't clean them effectively,
right?
And then that ferments.
Y'all, I'm not gonna say I'm excited about going to the dentist, but I'm excited about going to this dentist. I'm excited about getting this done. No one wants to go and have a root canal, but I cannot wait until Wednesday. So next Monday I'll be back talking, and I've even started to talk differently. Like anyway, thank you. I'm excited. There's more to come. Thank you. Right. Thank you for showing up. Now I'm going to go back to this topic. First of all, how do people find you? Put his number here. I think it's like what's your number?
It's 425-222-1222.
Put it in the chat for Daniel. He'll put it on the screen for you. So guys, all I can say is no one wants to go to the dentist. Like he just said, that's not really like at the top of the list. But I love getting my teeth cleaned. So that's the next thing we're going to do. Like I need a deep cleaning. So that's the next thing. Mm-hmm. You can see I love my smile. Like I smile very intentionally. And what I know is when you have insurance, right? When you're not as wealthy as you might want to be, they will pull a tooth. They do not pay for a root canal on your molars. They'll pay for one maybe on the front teeth, but I have a premolar and the molars. They don't care about those. Yank.
Every insurance is different, and for we have a membership plan in our office.
Right.
It's not insurance, but it's a membership plan. We're getting a lot of patients who are like, I used to have dental insurance, but it's, I lost my job and now I don't have dental insurance. So we created a membership. So the membership is a one-time fee for the year. It includes 2 cleanings. It includes all the x-rays. And if you have to come in, for an emergency, that's included. Mm-hmm. And if you do need some work, you get 30% off of our normal fees. And that's as long as you don't have any insurance. If you do have insurance, depending on if you're contracted with them or not, mm-hmm. we have to abide by the rules that we signed with them. Got it. So, but we work with everyone. Today I had a patient, last patient of the day. She was referred to me by her brother. Brother saw me. He moved from Africa 4 years ago, had a lot of work done. She just moved last week. She had no credit. So she couldn't get financing. Obviously, she didn't have insurance. So we worked out a plan to take out 4 teeth of hers. And she wanted to pay. She wanted to get implants. And we broke down the plan with, 5 months installments payments. So we work with patients based on, what their end goal is and how we can work around it. So
I love that so much. I mean, it was the caring. It was clear to me that you wanted me to have a good experience. Period. End of story. And so that loving care was just, what more can one hope for in a dentist, right? And then you got the technology and all the comfort, and it was like, it was a no-brainer. So it's a no-brainer. So you get my full recommendation. You know that scene from Pretty Woman where before they even, she's dressed in the beautiful ball gown and he's giving her this beautiful necklace. And before they even go on the date, she's like, if I forget to tell you, I have already had a good time. I haven't even had my root canal yet, and I've already had a good time. Your team was amazing. Like the whole process already was just like, okay, these are my people. You said all the right things about like how to, care for the tooth, and I'm gonna put the antibiotic in the tooth. I'm like, I know that's how it's supposed to be done. But of 5 people I went to, you were the only person who said that. So I was kind of like quizzing people. I'm like, of course that's it. Come on, you don't like wait. People would say, we'll just wait and let the infection go away. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, no, I really like to have the patient understand in layman's terms. I don't use the, the dental jargon. And I think a lot of the medical society, they don't spend enough time on breaking down a procedure.
Yes.
And we all know why you're there. If you're having pain, if you're feeling something weird, but a lot of patients, they're smart enough, just like you, to know something is wrong. They've done the research. They know that there's a couple of options, but they want to hear it from their provider. Right. And I think and correct me if I'm wrong, I think what worked with us is I said a lot of the stuff that you already knew about, but you just want confirmation and affirmation of what I'm going to do and the steps that are going to be needed in order to get to the end goal.
Well, it was also, just to be clear, it was the excellence. It was the extra. It was the technology. It was the most comfortable chair. Your team was like, hey, I'm all about extra. Like I said, I'm a little ghetto, but I'm more bougie than I am ghetto, right?
Everyone's bougie,
Everyone likes nice things. I want the best service. Exactly. So basically, people, as we'll have, listen, you're going to come back on the show for sure. We can figure out when you can come back. I can't believe we have less than 10 minutes left. So listen, this is what I wanted to do. You said a couple things before we left. You talked about the minute you wake up and the 5 minutes before you go to bed, the value of that. Now, people would have thought that you and I had some conversations or something. This is just how it works, people. So we have not spoken at all.
Impromptu, yeah. You told me 5 minutes. Oh, I have a radio show. Come on it. And I go, send me the link. My only hesitation was I got 2 young little kids. I didn't want to become a little mean with 2 of them coming in and and
I said, we're live. We don't care about stuff like that. He's like, oh, okay. Then I'm in. And you can tell when someone's all like the best dentist, that means he is very comfortable with his skills and his ability to share, right? His heart is like on his sleeve, right? He wants to do this work. He wants to support you, whatever your skills are, whatever your needs are. So again, I don't, you guys know, I don't sell stuff. I'm not selling anything. I'm just telling you what I know. And I will come back after my experience, but I'm just telling you, I've already had a great experience, right? When someone cares for you and you can hear it in their voice and how they provided excellence, it's kind of exciting. So anyway, more to come. So let's go back to the people. And again, this is about you showing up for yourself, right? Health is wealth.
Exactly.
Your dental health is a key part of your overall health. We know that to be true. But if you think about a goal that you want to accomplish in 2022, we talked about when you wake up and when you go to bed, how critical those times are to implant the vision, to see that end goal. And then we said that decisions determine your destiny. To decide in that moment, in those early and late moments and throughout the day, remind yourself of what your vision is, of what your goal is. That's what we mean by decisions determine your destiny. I've already decided my body is a living temple. That means my decisions throughout the day are going to align with that. I'm not eating Oreos because that is not aligned, right? I could, but I'm probably not going to choose that on a regular basis. Are you with me? So talk a little bit about, and you also said how you used to focus on being grateful, the gratitude.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, every day, like I was mentioning about, the 4x6, no cards. I would write down anything small that was positive in my day. You know, it could be I found $1 on the floor, you know, 25 cents, whatever it is. Someone smiled at me, a patient complimented my, you know, my demeanor, or it could just be, you know, I got a good grade today or something like that, or I got a positive review, something like that. You know, all these small things add up. And when you actually, at the end of the day, when you're reflecting on how the day went, it creates, I mean, either you could start reflecting on the negatives, and everyone has negative things that happen day to day, or you're going to think about the positives. And I'm not saying that I do this every single day. Yesterday, I was a little bit more negative than I should have been yesterday. You know?
I did.
Sometimes you encounter toxic people in your life, and that takes a lot of energy out of you. But you do need to digest that. And I think a lot of people nowadays aren't digesting that. They're ignoring it. And what happens is that builds up and becomes toxic within you. You know, I'm gonna share a quote I found a couple days ago. Create a healthy world within your body, and you will see a healthy world rise around you. Okay, I really like this. You know, and I actually screenshotted it because it really makes sense. You know, I mean, you have to, whatever you digest, it could be spiritually, emotionally, you know, chemically, food, it all impacts what you actually see around you.
We call that, this is with something, again, you know nothing about this. This is why it's so beautiful. The Living Powerfully experience is it's called the Living Powerfully experience with positive intelligence and something that I call transformational inclusive leadership. But positive intelligence is PQ, is the initial for positive intelligence. It's the positive intelligence quotient. So you've heard of IQ, which is your intellect, your skills. You've heard of EQ, which is emotional intelligence. PQ is positive intelligence. So we'll talk a little bit more about that. But the perspective that we share most commonly with positive intelligence is called a sage perspective, which means everything can be turned into a gift or an opportunity. Every situation or circumstance can be turned into a gift or an opportunity. So when those toxic people that are around you, when those things happen, if you look at it and decide, is this the worst thing that could happen? Or is this person like training my Jedi superpowers? Because when those crazy people come along, if you're able to remain calm in the moment, right? Smile, put up your invisible force field, right? Sage contagion happens. That positive energy, that positive contagion happens just like negative contagion. When someone comes negative, if they come at you negative, if your immediate response is negative back, it's just going to build. It's going to escalate. But if someone comes to you with that toxic energy, you can decide, you know what, I'm going to pray for you today. I don't know what's going on. We talk about empathy. You're going to see that person as a small child. You've experienced that, right? Where your positive energy, the ripple can affect someone else, can even change a negative experience. Do you agree with that?
I 100% agree. You know, people always stress about destroying enemies, you know, like if they don't like someone. But here's a thought, you know, if you make a enemy a friend, aren't you destroying them?
I love it.
So that's how I look at it. You know, I'm not saying it works for everyone. There are certain people who are never going to get along with you.
Right.
You know, you just have to say, you know what, I tried. And if they don't gel well with you, the best thing to do is put them aside.
I love it. So however, we close in 1 minute. So I'm gonna give you the final word.
Yeah. Well, it's coming back to what you said. You know, there's a quote I always used to I always tell myself whenever I have a stressful day or a stressful problem, with every problem comes with it an equal or better opportunity. Problems are very, very important, and everyone needs them because every problem has an equal or better opportunity that comes with it. And if you can And it could be a relationship. It could be any problem that you encounter. If you just kind of take a deep breath and say, you know what, there's an opportunity here. The universe is telling me, listen, there's something better. There's something better. You just have to find it. But it's just calming your mind and coming to a real reality that, you know, it's just another segue to another, you know, blessing.
Is that the perfect way to end? He just put call Dentistry of Bellevue. Here's the number, y'all, 425-222-1222. My dentist, my new favorite dentist, Dr. Corona. You will be back. This was absolutely amazing. I am so grateful. So grateful that we connected.
Traci, it was a pleasure. And thank you. And whoever watching, you're welcome to come to our office. And just say Dr. Traci and we'll take care of you.
There you go. It's on. Thank you. More to come, y'all. We'll see you next week. And don't forget, this is Black History Month, y'all. So there's the Call to Conscious Black History Museum that is going to be returning to the Columbia City Theater throughout the entire month of February. So February 1st through the 29th. Right inside of the Columbia City Museum. You're going to be featuring all these amazing things. The Seattle Black Panther Party, Rainier Cinema's Black movie posters, Revere XR. Oh my God, I know about Revere XR. How exciting. There's going to be virtual reality, y'all. The Negro League Baseball Seattle, Steelheads, so much more. I know we're out of time, y'all. Thank you so much. See you soon. Don't forget the Black History Museum, the Call to Conscious. Y'all, I love this so much. See you soon right here on Rainier Avenue Radio. Thanks.